Hi everyone. In this video, let's learn about first come first serve scheduling algorithm. FCFS scheduling algorithm is the simplest type of CPU scheduling algorithm. In this method, the process that arrives first in the ready queue gets the CPU first. It is like a queue at an ATM counter. Whoever comes first can be served in the ATM first. After completion of the first person, the next person can be served. FCFS is a non-primitive scheduling algorithm. This means that once a process starts its execution, it runs till its completion. No other process can interrupt or take the CPU even if it has a shorter burst time or arrives later. Let's have an example for FCFS scheduling algorithm. By considering the set of process and their burst time, we can first draw the Gantt chart and then we can compute completion time, turnaround time, waiting time, response time, average turnaround time, average waiting time, and average response time. In our example, we have three processes, namely P1, P2, and P3 with burst time 5, 3, and 2 units respectively. Since the arrival time is not given here, it is assumed as all processes arrived at time 0. We know that in first come first serve scheduling algorithm, the process that arrived first gets the CPU first. Since all the processes arrived at same time, we follow the order as P1, P2, then P3. So this is based on the process ID in ascending order. Fine. Now let's draw the Gantt chart first and simultaneously let's calculate the start time and completion time for each process. P1 starts running from 0 to 5 units. That is, it starts from 0, executes from 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, it gets completed. So now the start time of the process P1 is 0 and the completion time of the process P1 is 5. Next, let's consider the process P2. Its starting time is 5 and its burst time is 3. So it starts execution from 5, then 6, 7 and it completes the execution by 8. Therefore, the starting time is 5 and the completion time is 8 for process P2. Next, process P3. Its starting time is 8 and burst time is 2. Now, it starts execution from 8, then 9 and it completes the execution by 10. Therefore, the start time is 8 for process P3 and completion time is 10 for process P3. Now let's calculate the turnaround time. It is calculated as completion time minus arrival time. Here in our problem, all the process arrived at time 0. So for process P1, it is 5 minus 0. That is, the completion time is 5 and the arrival time is 0. So 5 minus 0 is equal to 5. Next, for process P2, it is 8 minus 0 is equal to 8. Next, for process P3, it is 10 minus 0 is equal to 10. Next, we can calculate the waiting time. It is calculated as turnaround time minus burst time. So for process P1, the turnaround time is 5 and the burst time is 5. So 5 minus 5 is equal to 0. 0 is the waiting time for process P1. Next, for process P2, the turnaround time is 8 and burst time is 3. The waiting time is 8 minus 3 is equal to 5 for process P2. Next, for process P3, the turnaround time is 10 and burst time is 2. So 10 minus 2 is equal to 8. 8 is the waiting time for process P3. Next, we can calculate the response time. It is calculated by start time minus arrival time. We know that the arrival time for all the process in our problem is 0. So for process P1, the start time and arrival time is 0. Therefore, 0 minus 0 is equal to 0. Next, for process P2, the start time is 5 and arrival time is 0. So, 5 minus 0 is equal to 5. Next, for the process P3, the start time is 8 and arrival time is 0. Therefore, 8 minus 0 is equal to 8. So, the response time for process P1 is 0, for process P2 is 5 and for process P3 it is 8. Next, we can calculate the average turnaround time. using the formula sum of all turnaround times divided by number of process. In our problem, we have three processes, namely P1, P2, P3. The sum of all turnaround time value was taken from the above table. So for P1, the turnaround time is 5, and for process P2 the turnaround time is 8, and for process P3 the turnaround time is 10. So by substituting it in the formula, we get 5 plus 8 plus 10 divided by 3 is equivalent to 23 divided by 3, and finally we get the value for average turnaround time is 7.7. Next, we can calculate average waiting time using the formula sum of all waiting times divided by number of process. So the waiting time for process P1 in this table is 0, for P2 is 5, and for P3 it is 8. So by substituting it in the formula, we get 0 plus 5 plus 8 divided by 3, and the value is 4.3. Finally, we can calculate the average response time using the formula sum of all response time divided by number of process. So the response time for process P1 is 0, for process P2 is 5, and for process P3 is 8. So by substituting the formula, we get 0 plus 5 plus 8 divided by 3, which is equivalent to 4.3. So hope you are clear in FCFS scheduling algorithm with this example problem. Advantages of FCFS scheduling algorithms are: it is simple and easy to understand, it is easy to implement, there is no starvation since every process gets its own turn. The disadvantages are: shortest process wait behind the long process and experiences a long delays, which leads to Conway effect. It favors CPU bound processes over IO bound processes and results in low CPU and device utilization. The overall performance is poor due to high average waiting time. Thank you all.